What's going on, YouTube? Just finished up a 200-mile bike packing trip around the Salton Sea, a little over 2 days and some change. Thought we'd make a video of myself and Steve's bikes, what we took with us, the bags, just kind of break down everything that we had, the gear we chose, and all that fun stuff. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into Steve's bike.
Let's go over my setup real quick and check out what I'm working with. So first off, we got 2024 Giant Revolt. If you notice, I like to ride big bikes, a 58 centimeter frame. On some Novatech wheels with Gravel King size 40 super slicks. Awesome. Nick and I commented how much we loved our big tires the whole time. Rocking the Force with the mullet setup, 170 mil cranks. And yeah, that's kind of what we're starting with for a base. Big fan of the setup and how it's working for me. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna break it down kind of bag by bag, what I'm toting along. First thing that you should know is that I weighed the bike before and after, and total weight I'm adding, and that's including this bad boy right here, 40 pounds. So if you're getting into bike packing, which this was my first trip ever, and I really didn't know if 40 pounds was like way too much or way too little, that seemed to be right in the pocket. And we're gonna talk about what I brought that I didn't need, and also what I didn't bring that I would bring next time. Let's go ahead and dive into some of these bags and what setup I had to go with. So first thing we picked up is gonna be the Rhino Walk bags. Now, these bags right here are pretty awesome. Boom, check them out. These are Amazon specials. Being my first bike packing trip, I didn't wanna go full force and invest super heavy dollars into things. And at the end of the trip, after 200 miles, these are an absolute gem. I would buy them again, use them again. You could probably get lighter weight versions as you pay more for the name brands. The Giant Revolt has fork mounts, so it makes these things clip on, clip off. Super easy, check that out. You saw me take it off, goes back on, it's that quick. On the fork bags, these are 4-liter bags a piece, and there's one on each of the sides of the fork, so I got 2 of those. On top of the bar here, another Rhino Walk is your basic bar bag. These are 1-liter bags, which is great, and we'll go over what I got inside of it in a minute. We have a small top tube bag. We'll call it brandless, also Amazon. We also have the Apidura frame bag. Fits in nice, also holding more nutrition for the trip. You see we got the 3-cage mount, so holds 3 bottles, 2 30-ounce bottles and a 20-ounce bottle. Yep, we got the Usui backpack, Outlander 9, which we've done a video on before. You can check that video out. All full of good stuff. On the tail end here, it's a 14-liter Rhino Walk tail bag. It does not have any kind of secure mount, meaning there's no post mount coming off of anything on the frame. So it only attaches via the saddle rails, and it also attaches via the seat post. So this bag does have a little more swing and movement on it when you stand up and got a power pedal a little more. But all in all, it held everything that we needed. Fork bag numero uno. Let's dive in. Here, a little bit of jerky, always have some protein. Sleeping pad, built-in pillow. I found it super useful. Would recommend looking for the built-in pillow. It's one less thing you gotta bring. This one has a built-in foot pump. I think that's kind of bogus. I would just go ahead and blow it up by air anyway. But the built-in pillow is awesome. An extra jersey, just in case things get rowdy, things get muddy. When you go with Where's Pinto, you never know where a side adventure is gonna take you, so needed. Nick's at home, he found his dirt. Oh crap. Whoa! Extra socks and a head wrap in case it got colder. First aid kit. Never wanna leave home without it. Done. Let's check out bag number 2. You notice how quick it is and easy to reach over and grab these things. That's why I like them. Some more socks. I love fresh socks. We got a gilet in case it gets a little cold, a little windy out here in the desert. You never know what could happen. 20 minutes from now, it could be storming and raining. Portable stove, jet boil. Check it out. Compliments of Mr. Nick, let me borrow this one. An extra can of gas. MSR can, you can check that one out. These are pretty cool. What we discovered on this trip is that this can, small guy, is great for 2 nights. So we're able to cook dinner 2 nights, breakfast 2 mornings, make coffee, make tea, and 1 can will get you there. I brought 2 on this trip, not knowing how far to go. Something I learned. Now I can travel with just 1 for a 200 miler. Let's keep it moving. Up front, I'm not gonna take the bag off because it'll take too long. But in the 1-liter handlebar bag, I have a pair of board shorts in case we found some natural springs, want to take a dip. Also carry a bunch more extra nutrition. And I like to carry quick access to my tools. So I have tire plugs, Allen wrenches, quick chain tool, just the basics to get you off the side of the road if something is to happen. Keep those in here. I also carry a flashlight and a couple small pieces in the front. And what I like most about this one is the little attachment here to put a wind jacket, rain jacket on the front. This came in super handy at night when the wind picked up. This was enough to cut the wind off me. I felt great. Also super handy is this little trash pocket while you're on the road. I didn't think it was that cool until we left. I use it, I love it now. Top 2 bag, set basic nutrition, carrying some ketone IQ, carrying some striker gels, we're carrying some precision fuel chewables, whatever your flavor is, whether you like to eat your nutrition, have gel nutrition, have it in the bottles, quick access, that's all I keep in this bad boy. Apodura bag, great for the frame bag. Side 1, travel spoon and knife and flint for spark. On the other side of the Apodura bag, towel for basic things, wipe the bike off, something gets muddy, greasy, dirty, whatever. We're carrying some sunscreen, headlamp, essential for bike packing. Never know when you're gonna need it. I also brought with me the Fantic pump. You can check them out, battery pump. This is one piece that I would not bring with me again because it's got decent amount of weight. Doesn't take up a lot of space, but this little thing is an extra pound on the bike. And I also carry a little hand pump drive, which weighs a fraction of that. And to be honest, I didn't need either one this time, but I feel the hand pump would have been sufficient. Extra nutrition, I got about 10 more bags of these in there. I like the little chewables. I'm a pretty high carb intake guy, so I like to keep the bag full. So that was a great spot for all that stuff. What I would typically do is carry nutrition and my electrolytes. So about 30 grams of carbs and 1,000 milligrams of salt per 30 ounces of water. And I carry fresh water in my bottom one just as a backup. Run a walk bag, extra shoes. Super handy because your feet are gonna get tired because the bike weighs a lot. So extra shoes for when you get to camp, you can set those down, put those bad boys on. I like to bring my, my little bungee straps here. Nick informed me some ski straps would work way better, so I'm gonna invest in getting a little packet of ski straps. Sleeping bag, rated down to 0 degrees. Let's talk more about the compression pack. I would highly recommend getting like a variety of these compression packs because they really help pack things down when you have a limited space. You need every little bit. This bad boy kept me super warm. I actually got a little sweaty last night because it was too warm. This one's a little emptier than when we took off because we ate a lot of the food that we needed to eat while on the way. Breakfast and dinner. Freeze-dried things, they're good. Tent poles. We got tent stakes and strings. The whole tent setup I like to keep in the back. It's all separate from everything else that I'm doing. I brought with me this time a Carhartt puffy, just a vest. Now, I'd recommend getting one with full sleeves, though I got by this time with the windbreaker jacket. Having something down will be super good. Nick's wearing like a padded Gucci one, and it's pretty nice. Probably gonna invest in one of those over the vest next time. All I got in here is a bandana, and I would have probably this exact outfit I'm wearing, right? Just a pair of shorts and a shirt for a couple of days because I'm wearing the kit all day long, but we're back from the ride, and after a much needed shower, I put on the clean clothes, took the kit off. So that would have been stuffed in here as well, not too much more. And to get in a little bit here, not too much. Wallet, ID, there are border checks around the Salton Sea. Gotta have that bad boy. I carry 2 little portable powers for me in case I need to charge up GoPro battery. Maybe I need to charge up my cell phone, which I did on the second night. Also, maybe charge up your Wahoo or whatever, your Garmin or your Hammerhead, whatever you're using, unless you have a Coros, which has the world's biggest solar charger on it, and I don't think you ever have to charge it if you ride outdoors. Other than that, a little more nutrition. You'll see Element, Energy Chews, Neutrogena face wipes. When you don't have showers and you're camping in the middle of the desert in a ditch on the side of the road, this can be your shower. Great just to kind of wipe yourself down at the end of the day, hands as well. Get a little cleaned up, feel better. Also in the morning, kind of give you a fresh start. Let's dig a little deeper here. Silka super secret. Always keep a little bit of chain wax on me because you never know when you're gonna have it. Really, it's more for when the chain gets loud and you want to quiet it down. But you can also put a coat on at night, spin everything in and let it sit overnight. Stuff works amazing. Garmin. Now, whether you have the full version like this or you just have the small inReach, highly recommend being accessible, or at least have someone know how to locate you in case you lose reception, something happens. Emergencies do happen. Be prepared out there. inReaches are pretty cheap to get your hands on. Subscription is pretty mellow these days. In the big pocket, we got deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste. Yes, bike packing, we still like clean teeth. I got more nutrition in here. I like to carry some solid stuff, some little fig bars, RX bars, sunscreen. Super important. You'll get fried out there if you don't wear any of it. I chose to wear a long sleeve kit most of this trip, so my arms were protected, but my legs, they're feeling good because I have my sunscreen. I also carry these little guys. These are me. I like to pre-mix a lot of my nutrition. This is one thing I would change because I have the bulk style bags of Precision Fuels. I would buy the single serving packets. That way they're more disposable, because once this is empty, it takes up the same amount of space. And the other ones, you could ditch the trash along the way and actually compress how much stuff you're bringing as you go along. 2 liters of water in the pack, which I was sipping on and using the whole time. And that, for the most part, now that I've made an entire mess of everything I have here, is what I got going on. Hope that helps.
All right, you guys have seen my bike before. We've had lots of conversations of my child, small Laufsegler, me being 5'10". This is pretty much the same setup I've had since the last time I did a video. I've just kind of changed the configuration a little bit. We'll get into that in a second. Starting off with the bags. Top 2 bag per usual, like I've talked about, I absolutely love. Race Restrap Long in the size medium. Cannot tell you what size it is right now, but I believe it's 1.5 liters. Yeah, this top 2 bag is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. I've told you guys many times what that is. Race Restrap Race in the medium size long version, because they make a small long, medium long, and a large long. So tail fin is most of my other bags. So I got a tail fin frame bag, and then the aero pack and a side pannier. And then on the fork is another tail fin pack. The newest bag that you guys have not seen is the lead out bar bag, which I actually won in a contest. Shout out Cycling Jenny on Instagram, and lead out, pretty rad. That's the only new bag really. The rest of the bags I have used before and shown you guys. Start from the front and run to the back. Starting with the front. As most of you know, I am running the Coros Dura bike computer. I believe I left with 60% battery, and after 2 days and some change and 200 miles, I have like 58% battery, really. So running the Coros Dura bike computer, I did run 2 lights up front this time, which came in handy the second night. We actually needed lights. Pushing in on mile 90, started getting dark before we found a bar to get some pizza. So ran 2 lights up front, the Lenzine 700s, and I have just one on each side of the bar bag, and those were actually extremely bright in the desert. Stoked on that. Rolling into the lead out bag that is up on the front. This is where I was carrying all my tools. So I've got a multi-tool, tire plugs, you already know, Cyc Plus bike pump, electric pump, tube, tire lever, nutrition, knife, some plugs, whatever that thing was, valve tool remover, and some more tire levers. I also kept just a couple of nutrition in there, so electrolyte packets, just when I wanted to top off the bottle. And I did have my rain jacket in there for a little bit. Tons of storage on that front bar bag. Rolling into the good old top 2 bag, per usual. Camera always sits up there with the Pro Standard mouth mount. So easy access to get to the camera to film things for all of you YouTube fans. And then in my top 2 bag, only other thing I keep in here, snacks, because we love our snacks. Waffles, gummy bears, some kind of granola bar, half-eaten Pop-Tart, and essential chain lube. This is actually not the chain lube, it's just a old bottle I had of chain lube, and then I put the Silka lube inside of this, so I always refill this up so I have a nice small bottle on these trips. That's it. Other than this time, and I know you guys are gonna give me crap for this, I know. I did not wear a vest, so I had no way other than putting it in my jersey to physically have it on me. I know. I kept my Garmin in reach, strapped to one of the straps just on the side pocket this time. Yes, you should have that on you in case you get ejected from your bike. You know, what were the chances of me getting ejected off a 60-pound bike? I don't know. And then the only other thing I kept in the pocket was just a little flashlight in case you needed to see anything or see inside your bags, because sometimes they are super dark in there. Rolling into the frame bag, sanitizer, hand wipes. There's some nasty things out there in the middle of the desert. Bike lock, always carry a bike lock in case anybody needs to run to the store real quick, or at night and you're in a sketchy area and you just want to lock your bike to something, a little bike lock comes in handy. Head torch, always got to have a lamp. Great for at camp so you can actually see what you're cooking and eating. Sunscreen, nobody wants cancer. Butt lube, because chafing is real. Battery bank, I make content, have a cell phone, have electronics. There's nowhere to plug in the desert, so having a nice battery bank to charge your batteries and phones comes in handy. Not gonna throw that one. Lastly is just a bag of all my cables and some extra GoPro batteries and an extra SRAM battery. I've never had any issues, but I always bring a second battery. Hydration on the frame. I had the 1 liter in the back here. That 1 liter always had electrolytes in it. The Precision Fuel bottle up here always had Precision Fuel and was topped off with at least 90 grams of carbs. The bottom bottle was my kind of backup bottle, and that was always just fresh water. Roll into the back of the bag. I have a little GoPro tripod that was strapped on with a ski strap. And then in my side pannier from Tailfin, I've got some cherry Coke, a dirty jersey because I chose a t-shirt ride for the last day. In my jersey though, that I was wearing every day is where I kept my cash. I have a little zipper pocket on the side, so I just knew I wasn't gonna lose it because I am good at losing things. The only thing I really kept in the jersey pocket was just more nutrition, just easy to grab. Anytime I ran out of nutrition up here, I'd refill it from whatever was in the pockets. A glove, I'm sure there's 2, but I brought 2 gloves just in case it got cold because there was potential of temperatures dropping. This is my little bag of basically hygiene. So hygiene bag, which is just a waterproof little bag that just rolls up. Deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, ear swabs. This is the big important one, like Steve was talking about. Just some wet wipes. These are just great to wipe yourself down at the end of the day. It definitely makes you feel a lot more fresh after you have all that salt built up. Toilet paper. There's not always access to a toilet, and when you have lots of dirt to dig a hole, feel free to get after it. And then, so I don't hear anything in the comments, there is extra Ziploc bags in there for the paper, if you know what I mean. Body wash, in case you did find a shower. This is always a good one. I'm a big fan of cleaning my kettle at the end of the day, so I always take a little bottle of dish soap and I cut up a piece of a sponge. That way I can clean my dishes at the end of the night. And bugs. Bugs are a thing. Bug wipe off. I could have definitely left the body wash at home, but you never know. If you find some water and you can take a hippie shower, that kind of works out. Otherwise, the rest of that was pretty much used or needed. One thing, I could have left at home because we had enough fun winds and enough side ventures. I did take a drone. Could have left that at home. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to just pull over and throw a drone up, and I don't know. If I had a newer one that kind of just tracked you, that probably would have been a little bit better. Other glove, you guys seen this one before. I'm a big fan of having a morning tea or coffee, so collapsible cup with some leftover tea. Pop-Tart, pillow. I do take a pillow, just rolls up nice and small. This is the Nemo Filio Elite Luxury. This is where I stuff my sleeping bag. This is just a 50-degree bag. Yeah, it was just borderline enough. I definitely could have used a warmer bag, but I did bring thermals just in case. Inside the bag, I just have a super lightweight towel, my packable rain jacket, and that's it. Rolling into the Aero Pack from Tailfin, which I have replaced the not so good straps on there with some ski straps because it holds things better. I normally have my sandals strapped to the top, but inside this bag I have my sleeping pad. This is the Thermarest Neo Air, I don't remember which model. It's the thermal one. Great sleeping pad, but it is huge. I have a new one on the way. Like I said, I brought thermals, so a shirt and pants for when it got cold. Those definitely got used. I always bring a Patagonia puffy jacket. That got used every night. Tent, Nature Hike 1-Up, packs down pretty small. Tent poles, beanie. I brought a pair of lightweight pants, swim trunks, pair of underwear, and like I said, the thermal bottoms. I did also bring a pair of merino wool socks. I knew that bag was just not going to be warm enough, so did I need to bring the extra clothes? If I had a warmer bag, no. But being that I didn't have a warmer bag, yes, and I actually used all that except for the swim trunks. The swimming holes were questionable. Flipping the bike around. So on this side, I always take a Silka pump. You guys know that. I'm a big fan of the Silka pump. Newest thing I did was strap some bottles, 1 liter bottles, to the fork bag. That again is from Tailfin. I believe that is a 3 liter. And that is essentially just my kitchen. So stove, propane, and food, and spork is all stored in here. I did not want to take a vest this time. That is why I did that. I did run it on the back, which worked out okay, except for we got into some rowdy stuff and it slipped down. So I opted for putting it back on the fork. Last time I did a bike packing trip, I told you guys that I got some crazy speed wobble. It was not nearly as bad this time. It shook a little bit every now and then, but even with that, no issues. So 2 1 liter bottles up front, again, strapped with a ski strap. Inside, just my kitchen propane. This is just my titanium pot. And then I have a pocket rocket. This was the new upgrade that I did just to cut down on some weight. I was running the Jetboil before, so changing the pocket rocket shrunk it down quite a bit. And then I had just some instant coffee and tea inside of that. Spork. For this trip, I just took mostly ramen noodles and some bagged chicken and protein, carbs, all in one package. Easy, no problem. Only other thing I took that's not on here is I did take a bag of rice, which I ate last night, and 4 bagels. That's it. Oh, I lied. What about the other side of your frame bag? There is a pocket on the other side. I always do carry a Leatherman, so that was on there. That just has a couple extra tools you don't get with your multi-tool. And then I just kept my ID cards and things just on that side. Easy access. I knew where it was. And if you're leaning your bike against the wall and you walk away for a second, it's not easy access for somebody to grab that. Rene Hurst 44s, I am still running them. You're not gonna find a better tire. I know I haven't done a review on them, but we hit every kind of road surface you can imagine on this trip, from super plush, just nice tarmac, super rutted tarmac, chunky gravel, rocky roads, dirt paths, smooth gravel, your mama's Kansas gravel. We hit it all. 0 issues, 0 punctures. I mean, that is the best A, road tire, but B, all-around tire that you can honestly get. Yeah, phenomenal tires. If you need a second tire, you want a road tire for your gravel bike. If you just want a killer all-road tire for bike packing or a road tire for touring, I mean, I cannot suggest those enough. Those did really well. Yeah, and that's everything in my setup. Now I got a giant mess to clean.
Yeah.
All right, final thoughts on our bike packing setup after 2 days and some change, 200 miles around the Salton Sea. What do you think?
Definitely learned a lot along the way. I think 3 big takeaways I'm gonna learn from this trip. 1, Nick came through with the tea and the instant coffee little packs. I'm a huge coffee lover, so if you like your end of day drink or morning drink, for me the morning coffee came in super clutch. Second thing I learned is that what we didn't go over in some of the bike review, what I have on the bike, is that I often would buy an extra 1 liter of water and strap it on the back where my shoes and my sleeping bag were to have kitchen water. So I brought plenty of hydration drinking water, but I didn't think about the extra for all the freeze-dried meals and everything for having drinks at the camp. So that'd be the second big thing to think about and keep in mind. Third one is the packing of your bags. Since this was my first go around, I was really in the mode of just make it all fit, which I did. However, I would pack a little more intelligently, meaning I would try to separate maybe my clothes, like the tent and sleeping stuff, to come out first, my clothes and stuff in one area, maybe my kitchen and food stuff in another area, so we didn't have to explode my bags open like I did the first night to put it all on the table and figure out what was what. So that would probably be my biggest 3 takeaways.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You don't realize how much water you need for the essentials off the bike. Like when you're at camp, how much water you need to make your meals or to have a drink. My 3 big takeaways: if you're not going to use the damn drone, just leave it at home. That's number 1. I always fall into that category of content, bro. Always about the content, but let's be honest. If you're going to do a bike packing trip where you're doing literally 80 miles and 100 miles the next day, what are the chances that you're going to really pull that out for, an extra hour to actually use it? Not very much. While I did like not having the hydro vest, that 2 extra liters of water would be nice to have. Now knowing that I can put another 2 liters on the fork, I think I'm always about peace of mind, and I was good on water every day except for the last day, which was alright. It was only 25 miles, but I did come back with less than half a liter, and there was no stores along the way. So if I had that 2 liters on my back still, even after I cooked, yeah, I think that would have been key. Carrying more water is never a bad thing. Yes, it's heavy, but it is pretty damn important, especially when you're in a dry place. Number 3. I like how you left out the headlamp, the light.
I did.
Even though I gave you my light.
Lights.
I'm going to use number 3 as lights are super important. You may not realize it, even if you're planning to ride throughout the day, always bring a light for your bike, because on day 2, we decided to go for the big push, and that definitely, after our amazing side quest and 4 lives later, we ended up being in the dark. So having headlights on the bikes was absolutely crucial. I think that's a big one. Jokes aside, my 3rd takeaway is going to be the thing I did differently for this trip, knowing that it was going to be a bigger trip and longer, and having a crunched kind of window. I planned out the days, but with multiple options. So day 1 had a short and a long version. Day 2, short and a long version. And day 3 had a short and long version. I created all those routes with short and long versions just to make sure that A, we can see the things we want to see, but B, we can get back when we needed to be back. So it kind of gave you the option of, if you're too tired and you just need to get to camp, we're going to go short version. But if you're feeling spicy and you want to go on side quests and see oases and a different lifestyle, how people are living, and whatever else we found in the desert, yeah, having multiple routes even of just one day, I think is absolutely key, because then you're eliminating sitting on the side of the road trying to figure out how to just get to camp or how to go see this. Like, that takes a lot of time out of that. So just having multiple routes, I think, was huge. Super easy just to wake up every morning and be like, okay, we're gonna do long route, and if we're halfway through, just go back and change it to short route. Yeah, that was one thing I changed on this trip, and I think I would do again going forward, especially as these trips get longer and there's more adventures and side quests. I think that is a huge one. And that's everything we got. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing how our bags explode. It looks like that at camp too.
And just remember, it's not a road ride if there's no gravel, and it's not a gravel ride unless there's a hike-a-bike. So get out there.
See you in the next one.